And although we're called Radio Free UK, we have nothing against the rest of the world. We love it. We love the whole world. That's why we're not so keen on the EU. Now we extend our hands across the Atlantic for Dimitri Vasilovos on One Dimitri Radio. He broadcasts a show every weeknight, and we select one to bring to you here in the UK. A libertarian based in Pittsburgh, he gives us an inside view on the state of American politics. His show is usually in two parts, opening with a monologue and followed with an interview. This is the first part of his show, the monologue, and it's all about the Clinton cover-up. Well, it's mostly about the Clinton cover-up.
eBay has everything you need for Halloween.
Honey, just to let you know, Jacob's got Halloween coming up.
New kids' Halloween costumes.
And he's been asked to do trick-or-treating.
Halloween sweets.
With some of the older kids from Year 9.
Scary makeup.
And I said they could all come to ours afterwards.
Halloween decorations.
With their mums and dads.
Booze. Discover a fantastic range of new Halloween items you can buy instantly with free delivery from eBay. The ultimate turn your little monsters into actual monsters shop.
And we're just about ready to start. Here we go. Radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I don't want to say I told you so because everybody knows what kind of humility I have regarding, my prophecies and all this kind of stuff. Sort of like Nostradamus and all that. But boy, did I nail this one. For months, I've been telling you that the Hillary Clinton email scandal is a cover-up, but not about to protect Hillary Clinton and her posse. No. The cover-up was to protect Barack Obama. Now, I said this months ago. You can hear it on a lot of the episodes at One Dimitri Radio. We do the simulstream weeknights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com, on Facebook Live, on Periscope, on Twitter. So hello, everyone. This is, so happy that you've joined me here. The WikiLeaks dumps have now included a dump regarding an email. And the email is all about President Barack Obama. Turns out that, yes, as I predicted, he knew all along that Hillary Clinton had a server that was unsecured, and he had been using it going back and forth. And now the WikiLeaks emails confirm everything that I've been saying, that, yes, the cover-up here is really about President Barack Obama, not about protecting Hillary Clinton or all of her people. In fact, all of her people had to get protection, had to get immunity and destroying the laptop computers and all this kind of stuff in order to protect Barack Obama, because if one did not get immunity, if one was charged, that one person, whoever it happened to be in the Hillary posse, would then spill the beans about President Barack Obama. That's why the massive cover-up, that's why the FBI got, so involved in this to give everybody a pass regarding Hillary, because it's not about Hillary. It's about protecting Barack Obama. And I've got one of the stories here. By the way, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm Dimitri, the lovable libertarian, here on One Dimitri Radio. It's on blogtalkradio.com. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what the hell's the matter with me. Other than the usual stuff. I'm on blogtalkradio.com. I'm on Facebook Live. I'm on Periscope. It's called One Dimitri Radio, and that's, pretty much me. And we do this 5 nights a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here. So thank you so much for joining us. Please spread the word. So many folks are getting involved with this and really getting into it, and this is terrific. And where else are you going to get this stuff? Because I've been telling you this for months where the media, and I'm screaming my head at the media going, why can't anybody else see this? Why don't you understand what's happening? Where are all the emails from President Barack Obama? There should have been a lot of them. The fact that there were not regarding the whole Hillary email server scandal proves that he had to know. There should have been a lot of emails from a president who didn't know that she had this unsecure server. But we didn't see any, which means he had to know that she was using a server and that he was hiding it. And anyway, here's the story. Well, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll do this story. I've so over-prepared for tonight's show. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dimitri, you give us so much entertainment and so much information. How do you do this 5 nights a week? And why do you do this? Well, I do this because of you, because I care about you. I want you to be a better person, and I'm doing my part to help, humanity. So I prepared a lot for tonight's show, as I do for every night. Well, most nights. And here's some of the stories that I have. I've got the President Barack Obama thing with WikiLeaks confirming what I had predicted months ago. No one's going to give me credit for this. Let's face it. No one's going to give me any credit for this, but you can check all my episodes from months ago, and you will see that I've been talking about this. Nobody else had put the pieces together, but I did. So, all right, so there's that. Let's see. Another scandal with the FBI. Just when you thought the FBI simply could not be more corrupt, and believe me, I'm right up there. I didn't think it could possibly be more corrupt. Now we find out it's more corrupt than even I thought it was, which is, on one hand, really sad, but on another hand, gives me an excuse to play one of my favorite audio clips of all time. The Weasel audio clip regarding the FBI is coming up, so stay tuned for that. All right. And finally, this is really interesting. If you are a political liberal, you probably hate Fox News. Well, I've got good news for you. If you are a political conservative, you probably love Fox News. Well, I've got some bad news for you. What's going to be happening with Fox News, and by the way, this is a done deal. I've been reading about this and following this, and it's just a question of time. It's going to be very soon, by the way. As soon as Rupert Murdoch dies, Fox News, as you know it, is over. Because Rupert Murdoch's two sons are going to be taking it over. And they're both unapologetic globalists. That's just who they are. That's what they believe and all that. They can't stand any connection regarding the right-wing politics of Fox News, even though Fox News is incredibly successful financially because it is giving a voice to people who feel alienated by the mainstream media and all that. Well, the Murdoch sons don't really care. Wait till you hear the name that is being floated to replace Roger Ailes to run Fox News. It'll make you want to hurl. It really will. It's just going to make, again, if you're politically liberal, you're going to love this news. If you're political conservative, you're going to hate this news. But because I can really amazingly predict lots of trends anywhere, long before they happen, like the whole Obama thing, for Donald Trump to be involved in a new version of Fox News. I see it happening. I absolutely see this happening. So a lot of stuff. And I've got a great interview for you tonight. As I told you in yesterday's episode, I interviewed a guy of the Australian persuasion. He's from Australia, but he wanted to be an American. And he wanted to be an American so bad that he went through hell in order to become an American. It turns out that our government was trying to prevent him from becoming an American. He was trying to do it legally, by the way. And he was being prevented, according to him, because of his politics. Yeah, he was targeted because he was an unabashed political conservative who was pro-marriage, or what's the right way to say this? Pro-life, anti-gay marriage. I believe he's anti-gay marriage. And basically politically a right-winger. And he is claiming, and I think he makes a pretty good case, that the Obama administration targeted him and made him go through so many hoops, jump through so many hoops, spend close to like $50,000. Well, it's Australian money, so it's not like real money. It's more like, 35,000 American, but still, it's a lot of money to become an American. Anyway, his name is Nick Adams, and he's got a great story. And this popped up toward the end of the interview, and I thought it was one of the most interesting aspects of this whole interview. That is his fascination with, and I'm not making this up, Rocky. It actually all fits together beautifully. So great interview for you. Now that is going to be only on Blog Talk Radio, that part of our multi-stream. Because it's a recorded interview, I don't have any visuals for you, so it's just an audio thing. So it's not going to work for Facebook Live or for Periscope. But I do have that for you on blogtalkradio.com, so please go there. I'll be airing that after this whole monologue thing that I typically do. So thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to send emojis, hearts, love, whatever you like, even some hateful stuff. Feel free to include your comments. Sometimes I have a chance to read some of the comments and interact. Other times I don't. It depends. But I do want to get your feedback, including even if you're trollish or hateful or whatever it happens to be. I have a very big tent here at the lifepedigree.com studio. Actually, it's not a tent. It's a metaphor. Anyway, I welcome everyone. Let's put it that way. Okay, please consider following me and friending me, mostly following me on Facebook. And on Twitter, I've got roughly 5,500 or so Facebook friends and followers, roughly 12,000 Twitter followers. I just broke 10,000 regarding listens on blogtalkradio.com, and that's within the first year of our show here. So it's happening just all over the place, absolutely all over the place. Let me tell you about lifepedigree.com. By the way, I'll give you an update regarding me inhaling the insulation that's in our attic. I'm still having that problem, so I've got to drink a lot of water here. Bear with me. I'll give you an update on that. Hold on. Well, let me tell you about lifepedigree.com. Then I'll tell you about the insulation. Then we'll get back to all these great stories. Then the interview, and then I can play that audio clip again, which I love so much about the FBI and weasels. Lifepedigree.com, great company, owned by Pittsburghers Glenn and Sally. They have this concept where you send them your resumes. If you have a business, you've got people sending you resumes. Well, it's going to take you forever to figure out who's telling you the truth. How do you access all the databases? Who do you call to make sure they went to this university, they got that degree, or they weren't in prison, or they got an honorable discharge, or 101 other things that people lie about. So what you do, it could save you a tremendous amount of time. When those resumes come in for a job opening that you have in your company, send the resumes to lifepedigree.com for a very, very, very low price. Lifepedigree.com does all the footwork. It accesses all the databases, makes all the phone calls, checks everything. And then for the resumes that actually check out, lifepedigree.com puts its seal of approval on them. So you get a stack of your resumes. You get all the resumes back, including the ones that check out. And then from the group that check out, that's who you interview, those people, because they're telling the truth. And so you have an increased chance of hiring somebody who is a good employee, all thanks to lifepedigree.com. You can try doing this yourself, but boy, it's going to take you like forever. And, you really should be selling your widgets or whatever it is that you're selling, and let lifepedigree.com take care of this very important time-intensive service. They'll do it for you, and they'll do it quickly because they know what they're doing for a very low price. All right, here's how to get in touch with them. I pretty much mangled this personal endorsement tonight. I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm going to blame the not the asbestos, but the blown-in insulation. I'll tell you about that in a second. But its email is this: sales@lifepedigree.com. sales@lifepedigree.com. In the subject line, put in my name, Dimitri, because that way they'll know that you're part of the Dimitri ecosystem. Dimitri spelled with 3 I's, Dimitri. Dimitri. Sales@lifepedigree.com. Dimitri in the subject line. That way they know it's not spam. That way they'll know you're legit, and that'll be terrific. Sales@lifepedigree.com. Send all your resumes there. Very low price. They do it quickly, and you increase your chances of hiring a good employee. All right, now to the throat, and then I'll tell you all about these stories. An update. A couple days ago, we had an electrician come to the house to do some work. Well, he did a couple things right, did a couple things wrong, and then really did something wrong. The thing that he did wrong, we have a blower, fan, whatever, in the hall bathroom. And it's to suck up all the bad, smells and everything that come from my bathroom. And there are a lot of them, I must say. Sorry. Anyway, so we were having some problem with the blown-in insulation that was somehow getting into the blower, and it was blowing that insulation into the bathroom, and it was just not good. So we get this electrician, nice guy, very nice guy. He comes to the house, and he goes up to the attic, which is full of blown-in insulation, and there's no floor. They're just joists or beams or, the wood stuff. And I gave him several pieces. There are several pieces of wood up there that can essentially make his own little bridge so he doesn't fall through and end up ruining our ceiling on the main floor. So he gets to the bathroom part. He hooks up the pipe or whatever it is to prevent the blown-in insulation from going into the fan and then blowing down into the bathroom. So, excuse me. More insulation. But now the problem is that the fan doesn't work right. It doesn't have that nice smooth sound like its twin does in the other bathroom off the master bedroom. This one now is like kind of grinding. It's like, oh, Jesus. So he goes back up there, except he forgets or whatever, gets sloppy, and puts his foot right over a light fixture of our ceiling and puts his foot right through that. And now we have a hole, yes, a hole in our ceiling, light fixture kind of dangling, and insulation coming into the house. It was like snowing, like little snowflakes. It was horrible. So I was gagging and coughing and all that. He felt terrible and all that, which he should. And so what we did, we put up a plastic bag to cover the light fixture and to keep the insulation from falling down. It looks like crap, I must tell you. It looks like we live in a trailer park or something like that. It looks really, really bad. But that was the fix. Okay, so he's apologetic. Nice guy, nice company, no problems. Well, until now. And that was 2 days ago. So yeah, that was yesterday. Excuse me, yesterday. Today, I'm waiting for the phone call from the electrician, from the company, saying, okay, look, we screwed up. We feel terrible. Our insurance is going to cover this. We're going to come out there or send somebody out there to fix this thing because we've got a big deal thing coming up this week with lots and lots of strangers coming into our house, sort of like an open house, only not exactly. And so we've got this crappy looking thing with the plastic bag covering the light fixture, preventing the insulation from coming down. And it makes it look horrible. It looks absolutely horrible. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the electrician company to call and say, okay, here's how we're going to take care of this. First, we're sorry, and we'll take care of this. Okay, fine. Mistakes happen. I make mistakes like all the time. I'm Exhibit A. But I own them and apologize and try to make it right. That's just what I do. And I have a lot of practice at that because I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. No phone call. No phone call. No email. No text. Frankly, no knock on the door. No nothing. If I owned that company, I'd have knocked on the door the next morning saying, I want to personally apologize. This is terrible. I'm going to take care of it. Here's what I'm going to do. Fine. Good customer service. None of that. So I'm waiting and waiting. Finally, 4 o'clock. It's like, oh, dear God, are they even going to call today? Well, turns out, no, they're not. So I call them at 4 o'clock, and I get a recording. We're busy right now, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. I leave a message. I say, look, Dimitri, here's my phone number, my address. We've got this problem here. We've got people coming to the house this week. This is a big deal thing. This looks pretty bad. Can you let us know what's going on so we can take care of this, get this thing done and all that? Because we also have like dirt type stuff on the ceiling that has like little swirls around each light fixture. It actually looks very nice, but that's kind of complicated to do. They never called back. So we still have this piece of plastic. It's a shopping bag. It's a plastic shopping bag, like from a Giant Eagle or Kroger's, Respecs or whatever's. We got a shopping bag, plastic shopping bag, and it's hanging from our ceiling and kind of pushed up there to keep the insulation from coming down. Some insulation keeps coming down. I keep gagging. I don't know how much I can actually take of this thing before this actually is going to be affecting my throat. I may need to call a personal injury attorney because they're very good about getting you justice. So that's the latest with that. We're kind of in a holding pattern here. They never called back. They never did anything as far as I know. I called at 4 o'clock, leave a message, nothing. And now I'm drinking more water than ever to keep from gagging all the time from all this insulation. I'm beginning to wonder if this is actually seriously, honest to God, affecting my throat. This is not good. Oh, my God. So I hope your life is going a little better than mine because mine kind of sucks right now. In fact, it always kind of sucks, but you knew that. All right. We have that. The Nick Adams interview, this Australian. Oh, he also taught me how to say Foster's Lager. Apparently, that's a very big deal beer in Australia because I've seen commercials, and the Foster's cans look like those 55-gallon drums that they play music with in the Bahamas and all that, that reggae stuff. They have these big cans of Foster's Lager beer because apparently in Australia, when they drink beer, they really drink beer. So Nick Adams was trying to teach me how to speak Australian. And so I tried doing my Australian accent regarding Foster's Lager. I'm not going to do that for you now because, frankly, it was kind of pathetic. But that's in the interview, so you will hear that. All right, where were we? First the latest thing with the FBI. Okay, and again, anytime I have an excuse to talk about the FBI and their abject corruption. I'm not even sure what abject means, but I think it fits with corruption. and how horrible they are, this is a great opportunity, a great excuse to play one of my favorite audio clips of all time. The head of the FBI, James Comey, talking to a congressional at a congressional hearing, talking to a congresswoman about the FBI's reputation. And what he says is just priceless. I could listen to this all day. Anyway, here's the latest story. The governor of Virginia is Terry McAuliffe, and he is was a Clinton operative, deeply involved with the Clintons and the money and all that whole Clinton slime trail and all that. He ends up being governor of Virginia, thanks to a libertarian candidate, by the way, who the vote totals were enough to swing it in this guy's direction. Anyway, so he's the governor. He ends up making a donation of roughly two-thirds of $1 million to this woman named Dr. Jill McCabe. She was running for state office in Virginia. Now, what does this have to do with the FBI and with James Comey and all this other scandalous stuff? Well, it turns out that McCabe's husband, Dr. Jill McCabe's husband, is either the second in charge or third in charge of the FBI. And he was involved with this thing with Hillary Clinton and the email scandal and all that kind of stuff. Now, Dr. Jill McCabe lost her race, but she still got, I think it's a little more than $600,000. And that was a very, very big deal. And this guy, McCabe, who's one of the top dogs there at the FBI, didn't disclose this, or if he did not recuse himself. And so he's all part of this whole tangled, horrible, horrible web with the FBI and the Clinton email server scandal. So this is like the latest thing here. I mean, we're talking about really, really serious dollars. And the amoral behavior of the FBI is unbelievable. Nobody at the FBI, as far as I know, all these FBI agents who supposedly have, high, values and morals and are outraged by all the scandals and the political corruption, not a one that I'm aware of has resigned in protest. Not a one. You'll get stories coming out of the FBI, and I guess Quantico or wherever it's based, that, or actually the FBI headquarters, J. Edgar Hoover building. You'll get stories out of there about how upset a lot of these, good, reputable FBI agents are about their reputation and this, that, and the other, and isn't this terrible? But it's all BS. It's all they're just playing you. Nobody's resigned. Nobody has made any kind of a principled statement saying this is a disgrace. Our FBI director has to go, or no one. They love their pay too much. They love their benefits too much. They love being those special agents of the FBI. And they're all political whores, and it's just horrible. So just when you thought it couldn't possibly be any worse with the FBI, with their scandals, now we find out it is. It really is. But good news is that I get to play one of my favorite audio clips of all time here, and I've got it lined up right here. And again, this is the head of the FBI at a congressional hearing, talking with a congresswoman, and he's very concerned about the FBI reputation. This was like a few weeks ago, but it's more true today than ever. More true. Can you actually believe I talk like this? But oh well.
We are not on anybody's side. This was done exactly the way you would want it to be done. That said, questions are fair. Feedback is fair.
Absolutely. But the foot soldiers, we use that term in the civil rights movement, your agents on the ground, you take issue with whether or not they were compromised or they were adhering to somebody else's message. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You can call us wrong, but don't call us weasels. We are not weasels. We are honest people, and we did this in that way. Whether you disagree or agree with the result, this was done the way you would want it to be done.
Yeah. Don't call us weasels. Don't call us weasels. It's the head of the FBI at a congressional hearing. Don't call us weasels. We're not weasels. We're not. Yeah, actually you are. And this is like the latest example of that. This McCabe character, and talking about more than $600,000, and you're part of the FBI investigation with Hillary Clinton. Oh my God. Again, I tell people this all the time, and I'm absolutely serious about this. If you're ever on a jury, and you ever have someone in the case who is a witness, who's a special agent for the FBI, understand what you're going to be looking at. You'll be looking at somebody who makes a very good impression, somebody who dresses very conservatively, somebody who's a college graduate, who speaks well, nothing flashy, very straightforward, sincere to the nth degree, and somebody who sounds as if he or she knows exactly what they're saying and that, they're very trustworthy. Don't you believe them, because they are part of the FBI. The FBI is one of the most corrupt political organizations in Washington, D.C., and was since essentially its founding by J. Edgar Hoover. That guy, J. Edgar Hoover, was one of the most corrupt, horrible politicians in American history. He used the FBI to blackmail politicians, both parties. He used it to try to destroy the reputation of Dr. Martin Luther King. The FBI has created a crime lab that was corrupt, that was just making up evidence, throwing innocent people in prison for God knows how long. It's been involved in deals with the mob, with Whitey Bulger, killing other people and letting him get away with it so they can get information from him. It's been involved. In fact, it was the FBI with Ruby Ridge and also with Waco, killing all those innocent people. The FBI, and by the way, both parties abuse the FBI because it's essentially a federal police force. And whether it's Republicans or Democrats, Republicans abused it during the Watergate scandals. And of course, now with the Obama administration, abused again. It's a horrible organization. So anyway, if you're on a jury and there's a special agent, they don't have just agents, they have special agents because it's the FBI. And that special agent says, if he's asked a question or she's asked a question by the prosecutor, Special Agent Smith, does the sun rise in the east? And FBI Special Agent Smith says, yes, the sun rises in the east. Don't you believe him? Now, I'm not saying that he's wrong. What I am saying is you need independent confirmation from someone else. Let's say a meteorologist. Let's say somebody who's an astrophysicist or a farmer. Somebody else that is actually trustworthy. If you can find somebody else trustworthy that they put up on the stand and they swear to tell the truth, this, that, and the other, if that person confirms what the special agent of the FBI said, that the sun rises in the east, then and only then will you know that that special agent of the FBI was telling the truth about the sun rising in the east. But don't take his word for it alone. Doesn't mean he's lying. It just means that he's part of the FBI. So make sure that the prosecutor puts somebody else on the stand to confirm what the FBI, independently confirm what the FBI agent is saying, that the sun rises in the east. It's the FBI. Don't call us weasels. We're not weasels. Really? Okay. So there's that. All right. Let me just bear with me here because I want to look at Adam's interview. Hold on here. Let me just close this. And I think I've got this. Okay. So we're in good shape here. All right. So there's that. We've got that. Now, next, let me tell you about this thing that I had mentioned a good while ago. I'd been mentioning it forever, that the cover-up, the FBI cover-up of the Hillary Clinton scandal, including all of her posse, was not about protecting Hillary Clinton. It was, in fact, protecting President Barack Obama. In fact, here's part of the story. In March 2015, President Barack Obama said that he had learned about Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server as Secretary of State, quoting now, the same time everybody else learned through news reports. Well, as soon as he said that, I just called BS. This is the President of the United States. He's got the most powerful office on earth. He has the most sophisticated, or some of the most sophisticated IT people and security people in the world. And you're telling me that the President of the United States did not know the open secret that Hillary Clinton had an unsecured server, that she was going through all these BlackBerries and all this email stuff. It was an open secret. And the President of the United States, who's, pretty much security conscious, or at least should be, didn't know right then and there. It was like, you lying piece of crap. I mean, who could possibly believe you? Well, it turns out everybody in the elite media believed him. And then, of course, there's me going, this is all crap. It's laughable on its face. It's laughable. But again, it's just me here at One Dimitri Radio, which, by the way, we multi-stream 5 nights a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com, on Facebook Live, and also on Periscope. And I've been saying this for months. And I've been using the analogy, if analogy is the right word, about that Sherlock Holmes story about Silver Blaze, where the key to the whole case that Sherlock Holmes broke, the key to the case was the dog that did not bark. That was the big clue. They had a watchdog watching this horse, this racehorse, and the racehorse was stolen. And Sherlock Holmes asked everyone, okay, what did you hear about the time that the horse was stolen? What did you see? What did you hear? What were you doing? And everybody pretty much said, whatever they were doing. And then it dawned on him that everybody was not saying one thing. See, they had a watchdog watching the racehorse. But the watchdog did not bark. Sherlock Holmes figured out that all the people that he talked to, all the interviews, he gathered all this information, and then it was like, wait a minute, something's missing. The watchdog. No one said the watchdog barked. And you would have assumed, it being a watchdog, somebody's going to be stealing this horse. The watchdog would have lost its mind, because dogs are kind of like that, especially the little yappy ones. Jesus, they can never stop. Oh, they're just, as chihuahuas especially, God almighty, they just go on forever. It's like, shut up. But no one said that the watchdog barked. And that was like a voila moment for Sherlock Holmes, if you'll pardon my French. The watchdog had to bark unless it recognized the person who took the horse. So when Sherlock Holmes realized that the big key in his case is the watchdog that did not bark, he figured out it had to be somebody that the watchdog knew and was comfortable with. And that's, spoiler alert, he figured it out. As soon as this Hillary Clinton email story broke, I kept waiting for, the dog that didn't bark. I kept waiting for where all the emails from President Barack Obama, because she should been getting them from him like everyone, like everyone else. But where are they? Where are they? And the longer the story went, the more I kept talking with you about it. It's like, something's missing here. The dog that didn't bark in this case is, where are President Obama's emails? There should be emails here, because he didn't know there was, not a private server, or was a private server, blah, 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 blah. No emails from President Barack Obama. And I said, that's the dog that didn't bark. He had to know that Hillary Clinton had an unsecure server. And as the FBI director Comey said, and he's right about this at least, that it was less secure than Gmail. And here you have the President of the United States knowing this, allowing her to continue doing this, and compounding it by sending her email. He had an alias, and they also didn't. They held back all those 33,000 or so emails. You think it was about yoga and wedding plans? My guess is, in fact, I will bet you your last dollar, that a lot of those emails are President Barack Obama's emails to her, and that he knew it was an unsecure server. Anyway, I've been saying this for months, and I could not figure out why the elite media, and really nobody, as far as I could tell in the media, put two and two together. Nobody realized it was a dog that didn't bark. So now, here's the story. President Obama, again, said in March 2015, he found out about it through the news reports. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay, fine. We have Tuesday, WikiLeaks broke this story. We did the dump here. According to a top aide writing to John Podesta, we need to clean this up. Cheryl Mills, a top aide, is the one who wrote to Podesta regarding what the president said about not knowing the emails, the private server. We need to clean this up. Everyone at the Hillary Clinton gang knew that President Obama knew. And this WikiLeaks email is confirmation of that. They wanted to clean this up because of what he had said, which was obviously a lie, because they had all these emails from him. He knew. The president knew. So if you're wondering, why would the FBI go to such extraordinary lengths to protect not only Hillary Clinton, but like 50 other people who are part of her gang, her posse or whatever, why they tolerate people pleading the Fifth Amendment, why they gave them immunity and then did not bring them to grand juries, why they allowed them to destroy their their laptops and their Blackberries with hammers and throwing them away and all of this stuff that for anyone else should be in prison. Well, the FBI and the Department of Justice had to make sure that everyone connected with Hillary Clinton got a pass on this. Everyone. Because everyone knew what I've been telling you for months. That President Barack Obama knew and allowed this to continue. All of these classified files, all the classified information on an unsecure server, all the stuff that they throw other people in jail for, President Obama knew and allowed this to continue. So all of this stuff with the immunities and everything else is not to protect Hillary Clinton and her people. It's to protect President Barack Obama. This email from WikiLeaks confirms what I've been saying for months. Now, we'll see if people in the elite media will start putting it together going, oh my God, it's been hiding in plain sight. This isn't about Hillary Clinton. This is about protecting Barack Obama because he's the one who knew. So you got it here first. And it was just so obvious to me from day one. Finally, others are starting to get it, but oh my God. Anyway, we got a lot of folks, Facebook friends who have joined us. Kirk is writing, will Obama's emails to Hillary be the WikiLeaks October surprise icing on the cake? Could be. I don't know. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Susan is writing, CNN is bashing Trump tonight. Nothing on Hillary. There's a shocker. Mike is joining us from The Blaze. Okay, he's fantastic. Read his stuff every day. Now, this is, in fact, let me, what should I do here? Should I respond to some of my Facebook friends and Twitter Periscope followers? Let me at least try to do this here. It's going to be a little bit awkward here, but let me try. I've got to scroll down. I'm using my iPad for a camera. And okay, we got George joining us, and Jay and Donna, Randy Bish, great editorial cartoonist, wonderful guy. John is telling dude, amp it up. He always gives me grief. Wayne and Bob. My wife has joined us. Oh, lucky me. Jocelyn has joined us. And who else? Doug and Lori and Ken and Tricia, a wonderful libertarian, terrific libertarian, one of the best, and does work. It's thankless. It's thankless work for the Libertarian Party of Ohio. Just thankless. She's great. I think the world of her. John and Daniel and Stephen and Susan again, Michelle, June. The father is globalist as well. He and Bloomberg went to D.C. about 3 years to ask for amnesty for illegals. Okay, that's about Fox. That's coming up. Very interesting take that I have for you regarding Fox News. Keith is joining us from Florida, and Rob and Sid. Yes, Dimitri, finally coming to your senses. Thank you. Now, please let us get President Trump in. Okay, I don't know what that means. Kirk and Rick and Dave, Lorraine and John. Oh my gosh, and Pat. Kirk again, Susan and Ed. Okay, Fox News. Fox News, if you're a liberal, political liberal, chances are you don't like Fox News because it is a mouthpiece for the Republican establishment. If you are a conservative, you might like Fox News because it's a mouthpiece for the Republican establishment, or you might be frustrated because as a conservative, it's a mouthpiece for the Republican establishment. By that, I mean Fox News would have loved to have Jeb Bush be the nominee, or perhaps Marco Rubio. Not so much Donald Trump. So there's this real schism among the political right wing between the establishment types, the rhinos, the squishy Republicans, and the true hardcore Tea Party type, Trump types, and all that, and goes back and forth. Anyway, all this is going away sooner than later, and I'll tell you why. Because Fox News, even though it is wildly successful, and not just as a echo chamber or a megaphone for the conservative wing of government or party or whatever, of conservatives. Let's put it that way. It's financially very successful too. News Corp is like the big parent company, and it's run by Rupert Murdoch, who also is an Australian, by the way. I've got a great interview with this Australian guy, Nick Adams. That's coming up on the Blog Talk Radio part of our multicast. But anyway, back to Rupert Murdoch. So Rupert Murdoch hires this guy, Roger Ailes, who was a brilliant TV guy within the Nixon administration, Roger Ailes knows television. Oh, my God, does he know television? He creates Fox News and turns it into this wildly successful, incredible thing. Well, Roger Ailes, a politically conservative Republican, not Tea Party type, but establishment Republican type, like a Brit Hume type more than a Sean Hannity type, okay? Roger Ailes also apparently liked chasing women, and he's sort of like these old guys in his mid-70s, very overweight, not exactly good looking, but very powerful. And he had all these beautiful babes on Fox News, and apparently he was hitting on some of them, and they had all sorts of lawsuits. And Rupert Murdoch, who's very old, I think he's in his 80s. Oh, by the way, Rupert Murdoch, you know who he's married to? Mick Jagger's ex-wife, Jerry Hall. Yes. He was married to this exotic Chinese woman, Wendy something or other, who played volleyball. And very cool. I actually liked her a lot. But Rupert Murdoch, I believe, is now married to Mick Jagger. Google it for me. I'm pretty sure that I know what I'm talking about. What a refreshing change that is. But really, Rupert Murdoch and Jerry Hall, Mick Jagger's ex-wife. Look it up. And would you Google it for me, like right now? And that way you can confirm that I actually know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, so Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes got along fine and all that, but now they had a falling out. Anyway, Rupert Murdoch's going to be dead soon. I'm not breaking any news. He's in his 80s. How much longer can he live? Okay. Although Sumner Redstone's doing pretty well too, except for the lack of lucidity part. Rupert Murdoch has two sons, Beavis and Butthead. Not their official names, but might as well be. And there's two guys who, the old line about, he was born on third base and thought he had hit a triple, that kind of a thing. Well, Rupert Murdoch's two sons are globalists, unapologetic globalists, and they're married to women who are politically very liberal, which again, is fine. I've got a sister-in-law who's politically very liberal, Catzilla, and she's married to, her husband, who's also politically very liberal. Lovely people, absolutely just the nicest people in the world. They will do anything for you except agree with you politically. Anyway, so Rupert Murdoch's two sons and all that, they're globalists, unapologetic, and they've made it very clear that they don't view Fox News as this incredible right-wing megaphone thing, at least for the future, because they wanted to turn it into something more like Sky News, which is an English thing, which is sort of like CNN, I'm guessing. Anyway, and they're not real happy with Fox News being so politically conservative. One problem, that's what makes Fox News, a big portion of it, so incredibly successful financially. But the latest stories, in fact, there was a story a few months ago that when Rupert Murdoch dies, and chances are he will die, and the two sons take over, they were looking at replacing Roger Ailes or whoever is running at the time with the head of CBS TV. And that guy is a liberal. His brother is a liberal in the Obama administration who bragged about using journalists who knew absolutely nothing and essentially fed them stories about the Iran nuclear arms deal. And so you've got the two Rupert Murdoch sons, Beavis and Butthead Murdoch, saying that, maybe we need someone like that. Well, now there's this media writer, a guy named Michael Wolff, with two F's in his last name, Wolff, two F's, who's actually very good when it comes to media. He understands media. He's a very good writer. I think he writes, The Atlantic or one of those dying magazines, but he's actually very good when it comes to media. What he wrote is sort of connected with this AT&T deal to buy Time Warner, big number stuff. But the thing that jumped out at me was this, that the Murdoch boys think a lot of the head of CNN, this guy named Jeff Zucker, CNN, the Clinton News Network. And they're seriously considering him, according to Michael Wolff, who is a legit source when it comes to media stories. He's very good. They're seriously considering him to take over for Fox News. Jeff Zucker, the head of the Clinton News Network. Try to wrap your ears around this one. He could very well be, in a very short period of time, the head of the Fox News channel. Now, what is that going to mean? Well, it's going to mean the end of the political right lean of Fox News. Why somebody's going to bother watching at that point, frankly, I don't know. But the Murdoch boys have made it very clear, They are not conservatives politically. They want to change Fox News. I mean, why you would kill the goose that's laying the golden eggs, I don't know, other than they simply cannot stomach the politics of Fox News. And so if you're a political liberal, this is very good news for you, because very soon, Fox News, as you know it, as a megaphone for the right wing or for the conservatives or the Republican Party, however you view it, is going away. Because Rupert Murdoch's sons don't want to have anything to do with that. You know, and they're real smart because their dad is Rupert Murdoch, so they must be real smart. Anyway, so it could be very well taken over and run by the head of the Clinton News Network, Jeff Zucker. And if it's not going to be him, it'll be the head of CBS or some other liberal, and Fox News, as you know it, is going away. And if you're a conservative or a Republican, prepare yourself for that, because it's coming much sooner than later. Rupert Murdoch's sons have made this crystal clear. And that's all there's to it. Now, you might think, oh, my God, it's the end of the world. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Okay. There's another interesting story going on right now, and that is Donald Trump. Duh. Now, the polls and the elite media and all that are all pretty much saying the same thing. And, of course, all the Democrats and all the never-Trump Republicans, everyone's saying the same thing. Donald Trump is going to lose. He's not going to be the next president of the United States because we don't want him, and that's just all there's to it. Now, maybe they're right, or maybe they're wrong. Let's say they're right. What do I know? What do I know? So let's say they're right. There's a really interesting story that's out there right now. It's just bubbling up to the surface about Trump TV, and there are reports that Donald Trump or his sons, who are both very bright guys. I mean, they're very, in fact, all three that are in the public eye, Donald Jr. and Eric and Ivanka, really, really sharp, impressive kids, and a great spokesman for him and all that stuff. Anyway, the story is now that there's a move afoot to start a Trump TV cable channel or something like that. And they're starting to mess around with it using Facebook Live, as a matter of fact, other social media, kind of like what we're doing on only a lot bigger scale. And there are a lot of reports that maybe Don Jr. is behind this. And again, it's still bubbling up to the surface. Now, officially, I think it was the Trump campaign or the Trump organization said, no, we're not going to do anything like that. Well, maybe not if he becomes president. But what if he doesn't? And again, I don't know. Nothing will surprise me with the election results on election eve, on Tuesday night, like in 14 days. If Hillary Clinton has a landslide victory, will that surprise me? No, because the media keeps telling us she's going to win a landslide. If Donald Trump has a landslide victory, will that surprise me? Well, actually, it would. Anything could happen. All right, anything could happen. It could be a narrow victory for one or the other. It could go to an election in the House of Representatives. You name a storyline, and I would go, I guess that could happen. So who knows? But for the sake of discussion, this ties back in with that whole Fox News thing. With this Trump TV, if Donald Trump loses the election, I don't think he's going away. I think that he clearly has tapped into something incredible in this country. Maybe not enough to win 270 electoral college votes, but he's certainly tapped into something immense. And if he does lose, again, I don't see him going away at all. What I see him doing is capitalizing on this incredible base that he has. I mean, he was in Tampa, I think, yesterday or a few days ago, and drew like 20,000 people. I used to live in Tampa, the whole Tampa Bay area, which I love, by the way. I mean, like crazy numbers, no matter where he goes. With this Trump TV, he could actually have a very successful cable news channel, especially if he hires Roger Ailes, who right now is on the beach, who's not working right now. And I mean, how long is his non-compete clause or contract thing is going to be? I don't know. So with Trump TV, which right now it's not official, but I've read enough stories, in my mind at least, to go, I think this thing actually has legs. If he does not win the election, this guy could actually start Trump TV, he and his kids, because the Trump brand is certainly substantial. Incredible crowds, incredible following, and not just the numbers, but the enthusiasm. When you've got Fox News which is going to be fading away very shortly because of Murdoch's sons, who are just saying, we don't want that. We don't care how successful it is. We're smart, so we'll just not do that. And we're going to have our own guy, political liberal person running it, whoever it happens to be. Jeff Zucker, my God. Can you imagine the Clinton News Network running Fox News? It's like, the worst. But that creates a great opportunity for Trump TV, because where else are all the Trump viewers, all the conservative, angry white old people, whatever you want to call them, blue collar, where are they going to go? Because Fox News is going away. The Murdoch sons have made this very clear. The only thing left, it's not like there are other, competing conservative voices in cable news or anything like that. They're all, one's more liberal than the rest. But now with this Trump TV and with this built-in audience that Donald Trump would have starting Trump TV, and with his kids, with Eric and Don Jr. and maybe Ivanka and all that, this is a ready-made cable channel. And it'll be a ready-made cable channel. Oh, you still have to get access with different cable companies, but it is possible, certainly. They will be filling a void. Trump TV will be filling a void that will be created by the destruction of Fox News as we know it. So don't be surprised that if Donald Trump loses, and again, I have no idea. If he wins, we're that much closer to getting the wall built using the designs of Pat Manley. So that would be very cool. But if he loses, don't be surprised if, you heard it here first, Trump TV is born. He taps into this incredible foundation of support all across the country, people who are rabidly pro-Trump. And this Trump TV could actually be a tremendous success almost from the get-go. Because Donald Trump, whatever you might think of him as a politician or whatever, he understands media. He really understands media. He's not a dumb guy. He knows the Trump brand is very powerful. He's got his 3 kids that are just smart as can be. And with Fox News going away as a conservative megaphone, it's tailor-made for Trump TV. As God is my witness, if they would sell stock in Trump TV, again, Donald Trump would have to lose and then go all in to create Trump TV, I would buy stock in it. Not because of the politics at all, but just because I think it'd be a great investment, especially if he brings up, Roger Ailes or other people who are going to get thrown out at Fox News because they're, conservatives. Trump TV could actually be a big business success, maybe his biggest. And that's if he loses. Now, if he wins, then I don't think he's going to have time to, do that. But if he loses, Trump TV, start paying attention to that. Any kind of news stories you see about that, even the ones where the Trump organization is going, no, we're not going to do that. Well, if Trump loses, I couldn't think of a better business opportunity for the Trump brand than Trump TV. Because everybody knows that the insiders, the ones who really, doing their homework and understand what's really going on, they all know that the Fox News channel, as a conservative voice, is going away. It's going away because the Murdoch kids don't want it. Absolutely do not want it. So there's this incredible opportunity for some type of conservative megaphone, Trump TV, built-in rabid audience. It's going to be perfect. If they sell stock, as God is my witness, I will buy it if I can afford it. If it's like really expensive stock, then I probably won't. But if it's like, $1 a share or something like that, or 50 cents, I'll buy a few shares because I'm always thinking. Okay, I think that's about it for tonight in terms of our interaction. Murdoch is not sick. Kimberly is writing. No, he's just old. He's an old guy. And did anybody look up Jerry Hall? I believe he is married to Jerry Hall, former Mrs. Mick Jagger. Before that, he was married to Wendy. And let's see, did anybody look it up? I don't think anybody looked it up. Anyway, all right. Let's do now the Nick Adams interview. Nick Adams is this guy from Australia who has become an American, but he had quite a challenge to become an American because he claims, and I think he's right, because he was targeted by the Obama administration because of his political views. Because Nick Adams is a political conservative, an Australian guy who wants to be an American, finally became an American, Very successful guy, a great self-promoter, and, good for him. The thing that I found most interesting with this interview had nothing to do with that stuff. It had everything to do with Rocky. Sylvester Stallone, the whole film series, every Rocky thing. Toward the end of the interview, it was almost like out of the blue, Nick just mentioned something about Rocky. And Rocky? What are you talking about? And he started going on and on about Rocky and his feelings about the whole Rocky thing and all that. And I don't want to spoil it for you. It was a really interesting insight that I think really made that interview work. So we've got that for you tonight on the Blog Talk. More insulation, excuse me. So we've got that for you on the Blog Talk Radio part of our multi-stream. We're on 5 nights a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com, Facebook Live, on Periscope, on Twitter. Please consider following me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Blog Talk Radio. Please spread the word, put this on your timelines, send it to people, let them know this is all, anything you could do would be terrific, and I appreciate it greatly. I really do. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I've got an appointment with an eye, ear, nose, and throat doctor for my ears. They itch a lot on the inside, and it's like, what the hell's going on? I use olive oil every once in a while, warm olive oil. You put that in your ear, works magic. But I'm getting tired of putting olive oil in my ears because after a while you start feeling like you're like a garden salad or something like that. So tomorrow I'm seeing this doctor who's an eye, ear, nose, and throat guy to look at my ears to figure out what the hell's going on inside there. And no, they're not going to put a light through one end of the ear and have it come out the other. I've seen that on TV. It's not true. Not true. It doesn't really work. So I'll give you an update on that, about my itchy inner ears, and try to figure out what the hell is happening with that. Sometimes they itch like crazy, and it's like on the inside. It's like, what the hell's going on here? So we've got that tomorrow. I'll give you an update about the electrician if he ever calls back, if the company ever calls back and says, oh, we feel terrible that you got a plastic bag hanging down from your ceiling covering up the light fixture that we ruined, and the hole in the ceiling with all the insulation coming down. So I'll give you an update on that if they call back or do anything. But you have no idea how hard it is being me. You have no idea. Your life should not be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard for you, and it certainly should not be this hard for me. And yet, here I am. So, I don't know. All right. The Nick Adams interview. Again, follow me on Facebook and on Twitter and on blogtalkradio.com. And let's see here. Let me just close this.